Good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan Smith, and I'm a junior at Glencoe High School.
And I'm Tasha Robinson, a senior from Glencoe High School.
And we're the co-chairs of the Hillsborough Youth Advisory Council.
We're excited to be here tonight to recall all of the amazing achievements of our city this past year.
And celebrate the fact that our city government has never been shut down.
Although there are 404,329 Steves in the United States, we are proud to introduce our favorite.
Please join us in welcoming Mayor
Steve Calloway.
Thank you. We're good. Thank you. Now, I have to be honest with you. I think that's the first time in about a year and a half I've talked to Tasha and Ryan and have not yet been asked my paper bag and shopping preferences. Anyway, thank you for those very, very kind words. And thank you to our esteemed Honor Guard members who protect our community every single day as first responders. Thank you, Robbie Hammond, for our interim city manager, who is helping us keep momentum that we enjoyed during Michael Brown's 7.5 years as our city manager. Now, as we told Michael during our last city council meeting, we're very grateful for his service and for his commitment to Hillsborough. And we wish Michael and his family the very best in their adventures to come, and we look forward to Robbie's guidance as the city moves forward. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight, sitting in this auditorium or watching from outside. We appreciate that you are taking the time tonight to be engaged in our community. And as Ryan and Tasha mentioned, they referred to the federal government, and I too want to congratulate the federal government for being open for the past 5 days. Because as a city government, we never shut down. Since October 19th, 1876, we have been serving our community for 52,042 consecutive days and about 18 hours and 10 minutes. I counted on the airplane the other day to make sure those days were right. Cities don't shut down, and our budgets always balance. Now, I'm going to remind you, the more you clap, the longer you're going to stay, okay? So now, everything we do as a city is to improve our quality of life, and it's done in collaborative partnerships with others. We have tremendous partners, such as Hillsborough School District and Washington County and other local governments. We have partners like the Chamber of Commerce and many other businesses that work to support our local economy. And we have community groups and community members who are essential to our lived experience. Thank you all. We are all connected to the school district, to the county, to the chamber, to the city, to our businesses, our community groups, to each other, and to all of our partners. And that's why this year's theme for our State of the City is Many Partners, Many Hands, because partnerships have always been and always will be essential for raising the bar for the quality of life in Hillsborough and for creating future opportunities. We didn't get here on our own, and there's a wonderful saying that I think captures it well. This time comes from that time. Those who've served our community in the past have positioned us to make the most out of today, just as those of us here look to position our city for greatness in the future. The many hands in our community, each exceptional in size, shape, color, and condition, tell the stories of our collective strength, our diversity, our shared identities, and our unique contributions. In Hillsborough, we lend a hand when we see a need. We shake hands or bump fists to strengthen a connection. We offer a hand to help. And sometimes we just extend a hand of invitation for others to join. It takes many partners, many hands to achieve our community's vision for Hillsborough, as stated in our 2035 community plan. In 2035, Hillsborough is a diverse, sustainable city known for success in blending urban lifestyle, a world-class local economy, agricultural heritage, and a welcoming, family-friendly community for an outstanding quality of life. Now, as you will hear tonight, we continue to make progress in achieving our goals. And among the partners that we have tonight, I would like to acknowledge Shirley, who is here from Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici's office. And Shirley is truly a special guest because it wasn't that long ago when she was a member of our Youth Advisory Council and was with the YAC as they listened to State of the Cities. And as a high school student, she became Congresswoman Bonamici's very first high school intern. She met the Congresswoman when we took a National League of Cities, when we went back to the NLC conference, and we took some of our high schoolers from YAC, and she met the Congresswoman there. And then when she was in America, when she was going to school at American University, also became a college intern. She's graduated, and now she is Congresswoman Bonamici's Washington County field representative. So we are so proud. Secondly, it's a privilege to have Japanese Consulate General Tara Okasan with us tonight. Maria Pope, CEO of Portland General Electric. Maria, thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for partnering with us as a city. We have Lori James Nielsen, the president of Tuality Healthcare, an OHSU partner. Dan Valliere, the CEO of REACH CDC, is here. Thank you for partnering with us as we work to reduce homelessness. And tonight, we are sitting and standing in the Shirley Huffman Auditorium, named in honor of one of Hillsborough's greatest. Mayor Huffman's work inspired me and so many others, including our current city council, Kyle Allen, Anthony Martin, Rick Van Beveren, Olivia Alcaire, Beach Pace, and Fred Noctegal, our council president. A very special thank you to my wife, Joan, for all of her help and support in my role, and also to all the spouses, partners, family members, co-workers who support all of us on council as we do this important work. So thanks to all of you who support us. Now, this year's State of the City will focus on City Council's 2018 priorities and the work that our city and our partners have done and that we will continue to do in the year ahead. We'll talk about each of these priorities tonight, but we won't talk about everything because, with apologies to all, we simply don't have the time to get everything in that the city and community have achieved. But what a great problem for us to have. Now, if you look inside the bag on your seat, you'll find the City View newsletters, and inside of that, you don't have to do it right now. You can watch me. But inside of that bag is a recap of our key highlights from 2018, plus the direction that we're going in 2019. So let's also thank all of our Hillsborough partners who provided photos that show our community and the great things that are happening. So with that, we'll play our video.
What happens when a community works together? When many different people and many different hands work toward a common goal. You get a community that grows together. You get partnerships that open new doors. You get to hear different points of view. And you get to build something great. You get to shape the future. And you never stop having fun. What happens when a community works together? You get Hillsborough, Oregon.
Now, first of all, I would also like to thank all of our elected officials. I have fellow mayors who are here. We have elected officials from the county who may have just had to duck out because they have a county commission meeting that starts at 6:30, but we appreciate Councilor Chair Harrington and all of the commissioners who are here tonight, and Metro Council President Lynn Peterson and Councilor Juan Carlos Gonzalez, who are already standing, so thank you. And I think with that, we have people covered. So we're going to start to cover our council priorities. So thanks again to our many community partners who helped us make such progress on our priorities. And we're going to start with transportation, where we're working with our partners to alleviate congestion and improve mobility. We heard from community members who know where our needs are greatest. And when we received more than 1,300 unique comments for our transportation system plan update, that really helped us move forward. So with our partners at ODOT, Washington County, and Intel, we paved the way for the expansion of Highway 26, which is now 3 lanes in each direction between 185th and Cornelius Pass Road. Intel's contribution to the project marks the first time, we believe, that a private business has contributed to a freeway widening project in Oregon's history. We added capacity in South Hillsborough, where we worked with Washington County and private sector partners to extend Cornelius Pass Road south of TV Highway, and with the addition of the Blanton and 209th Avenue turn lane, we uncorked the bottleneck at TV Highway and 209th Avenue. It's also easier to get around to North Hillsborough, where we extended Century Boulevard to connect with Jacobson Road, along with widening and resurfacing Jacobson. Now, while adding capacity is important, safety is paramount, because we're sadly aware that there were 8 pedestrian fatalities in Hillsborough in 2018, and we've already experienced some in 2019. We all bear a responsibility to be mindful of the safety of others and our own safety, especially as drivers when we're traveling in the dark. It doesn't matter whether we're on state highways, county roads, city streets, we must be vigilant. Now, among our projects to improve pedestrian and cyclist safety this year is a reconstructed Cedar Street between 32nd and Brookwood. This includes new curbs, gutters, storm drains, bike lanes, street trees, lighting, and sidewalks, all helping to protect the safety of students and residents in the Brookwood Elementary School area. Student safety is a top priority in the city's Transportation Safety Action Plan, and Brookwood is one of 8 Hillsborough schools where our staff completed safe routes to school action plans for students. Also, the city staff trained 8 PE teachers and over 1,100 students as they learned about pedestrian safety. And here to demonstrate a walking school bus, would you please help me welcome students from McKinney Elementary School. And thank you to the city's Bernadette Lee for that. And again, walking school buses make a difference. Now, in the past year, we also installed 4 additional rectangular rapid flashing beacons. Safety is the foundation of the Jackson School Road Bicycle and Pedestrian Improvement Project as well. Now in the final design phase, it will underground utilities and provide a safer experience for everyone who walks to school, walks to church, walks their dog, or just walks. It will also be safer for cyclists and drivers. Throughout our city in 2018, our pavement management program placed 20,000 tons of asphalt to pave our roads, and they smoothed it out too. We also upgraded 71 Americans with Disabilities ADA ramps throughout our city to make sure that it is safer for pedestrians and bicyclists. Now, our transportation system is getting smarter and more efficient with connected street lights and advanced timing signals that can reduce congestion. Another transportation-related City Council priority is to increase public transportation access and service options. We've partnered with TriMet to expand bus service routes and other public transportation enhancements. Line 57 now runs 24 hours a day along TV Highway from Forest Grove all the way through Hillsborough towards Beaverton and east. And TriMet has made a commitment to us to provide bus service through South Hillsborough. We're working with Washington County on the Moving Forward TV Highway Enhanced Transit and Access Plan, which will incorporate the needs of residents and businesses along TV Highway. And this year, the city invested in the expansion of the North Hillsborough Link Shuttle service to cover weekends and lengthen service hours each day to provide transportation options to those who work north of Highway 26. We're working with partners to evaluate ridership potential for a new Sunset Highway Express bus and park and ride service connecting from Forest Grove to downtown Portland through the North Hillsborough employment area. And we're also evaluating a new North-South Express bus service connecting Hillsborough to Tigard, Sherwood, and Wilsonville for the North-South commuters. So there's commuting to work, but then there's also commuting while you are at work. And as a public agency, we encourage employees to use all methods of transportation. So the folks that are riding around me now are some of the Hillsborough employees who are in the Borrow Bikes rider group. They take bikes to nearby meetings. So as Borrow Bikers, they commute to their meetings within the city, and by doing so save time, reduce our carbon footprint, promote healthy living, and obviously none of them need to go to the gym. Now, as a community, we're working to develop policies and programs that place equity at the forefront. And that's why the City Council made it a priority in 2018 to support cultural inclusion and expanded engagement with diverse community members. We're taking time to get it right as we develop an inclusion and engagement strategy that benefits everyone. One accomplishment we've made is adopting a cultural arts action plan. The plan's strategies aim to make Hillsborough even more creative and more welcoming as an arts destination. Our Civic Leadership Academy is another example of our commitment to inclusive engagement. In its third year, the Academy again helped a diverse group of new leaders to develop and prepare for service in our city on city boards, commissions, and councils. In fact, Councilor Pace is our first Academy graduate to run and serve on council. Congratulations and well done. Now, at our libraries, you can experience cultural inclusion on a daily basis. In 2018, the library offered 80 story times each month and delivered those in 15 different languages, reaching nearly 24,000 children. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And the library also received a $25,000 World Languages grant to expand its early literacy collection with books in 7 additional languages. Those are Arabic, Chinese, Hindi, Spanish, Tagalog, Russian, and Vietnamese. Our Creciendo Juntos Spanish language city newsletter continues to grow in its distribution as well. We've expanded partnerships with community organizations such as Centro Cultural, who we worked with for the second straight year on the El Grito Community Festival at Chute Park. And we continue our strong support of the Hillsborough Chamber's Latino Cultural Festival, which is now in its 15th year. Just earlier this month, the Human Rights Council of Washington County hosted the 17th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration right up the street at the Walters Cultural Arts Center. We appreciate also our many friends in the faith community, many of you who are here tonight. We also include and thank the Shabbat Jewish Center for helping to expand tolerance and understanding, and we continue to grow our relationship with the Muslim Education Trust and participate in the Building Bridges of Understanding in Our Communities program. The city contributed $20,000 to support the Coalition of Communities of Colors report, Leading with Race. Our Community Services Manager, Tammy Cockram, served on the steering committee for this report. And we also appreciate community partners like the Hillsborough Hops, who were asked to be one of about 30 minor league baseball teams to participate in a diversity program. And they had their Los Lupulos rollout this year with uniforms, special nights, and you know, that may be why this year the Hops had the best record in all of organized baseball, all professional baseball, except for the Boston Red Sox. So hooray for the Hops. Bag and Baggage created the Brave Space program. That's where equity, diversity, inclusion are the focus of the listening sessions, and it provides a space for speakers to tell their stories and share their lived experiences. And audience members, we have the chance in the space to listen, learn, and understand, and show respect and kindness. Now, as many of you know, Bag and Baggage founder Scott Palmer is leaving for a new job in Idaho. He's made our community more creative, more vibrant, and more engaged. Thank you for being an important partner. Thank you for lending a hand, and I'm grateful that you just didn't take this as an opportunity to solicit donations for Bag and Baggage. Now, Scott and other community partners have been invaluable to our efforts to continue the revitalization of downtown Hillsborough as an arts and entertainment destination. Beyond Bag and Baggage at the Vault, there's also performances at Hart Theater, music at the Walters Cultural Arts Centers, and our many art galleries. We're blessed to have strong partners working with us on this City Council priority, including the Hillsborough Chamber and the Hillsborough Downtown Partnership. One of the important additions this year for the partnership was the hiring of the new executive director, E.J. Payne. E.J. lives downtown, and she also lives in downtown. She's volunteered since the partnership formed 3 years ago to help market downtown Hillsborough to the greater Portland area. And among the initiatives that she championed this year was the opening of the Temporium, our first pop-up storefront with local vendors. Later this month in February, the city will host a Block 67 project update meeting to talk about our discussions and give people updates on our project's developer for the open space between 6th and 7th Avenues. Another important development in downtown will be the Merrill Gardens project at the site of the former Bank of America building at 4th and Main. It's across the street from Amelia's. Now, this mixed-use project is expected to add more than 100 units of market-rate housing for seniors in our downtown area. We also saw 4 downtown businesses utilize the city's storefront improvement program in 2018, and we have 5 more storefront improvements that are going to be started this year. Down in the Tom Hughes Civic Center Plaza, we welcomed Beats and Eats, the summer series of live music, food carts, and fun games every Friday this summer, because the city loves to have fun. It's true in everything we do, including our state of the city. So right now, we are going to play a game. We are going to play Name That Counselor. All right, this is a game where you learn about the City Council. In fact, you learn more about the City Council than you ever knew you needed to know or wanted to know. So let's welcome tonight's amazing contestants from the Hillsborough Youth Advisory Council. I will pass by quickly. You will tell us your name even faster.
My name's Ellie Villaraldo.
Just your name.
Ellie. Elizabeth. Kelly. Aaron.
Nasala. Eddie.
Ryan.
Amber. Lauren.
Marvin.
Nice job. Well done. All right. So here's how, and I'm going to have you guys scoot up a little bit. Perfect. So here's how it works. We are going to give you 3 facts, not alternate facts and not opposition research. These are facts that the counselors have given us themselves. And you are going to have to guess which counselor represents these 3 facts. All right? Do you have any questions? Good. Here we go. First, and you all get to play along too. All right, so here we go. Every single one of these is true. First of all, who worked as a commercial fisherman in Alaska, played lineman in high school football, plays ukulele, banjo, and guitar? All right, Yak, who do you think it is? Hold those up high. Audience, name that counselor. All right, let's find out. It is.
I used to play ukulele on the fishing boat.
Nicely done, Anthony. All right, our next counselor shares that they played keyboard and sang in a rock band as a teenager, took part in a human wall in southern Mexico that protected the Zapatistas from the Mexican army, and encountered a grizzly bear and 2 grizzly bear cubs outside a cabin in Alaska. All right, Yak contestants, name that counselor. I think we have 7 counselors, but I swear I see 8 different pictures up here. All right, do you guys have a guess? Who do you think? Let's find out.
I walked out of my cabin on the way to go to work, and I saw Mother Grizzly and her 2 adolescents off in the field. I decided I needed to go back in my cabin and go to work late.
We are glad that Counselor Alcaire barely escaped. Oh, they get worse. All right, next. Our next counselor served as a high school newspaper editor, had a greyhound named after them while working in a dog kennel, and worked in a fish market as a kid. All right. Who do you think, Yak? Probably the hardest part of this game is juggling all the faces. Here we go. All right, we have, and who do you think? All right, let's find out.
Yes, it's true. I worked in a fish market when I was a kid, my father's fish market, the Crab Shack, and I smelled like it, unfortunately.
All right, our next counselor has hiked glaciers on 3 continents, shook hands with President George H.W. Bush, and worked security for President Bill Clinton and met former Secretary and Senator Hillary Clinton. This counselor also lived in Italy. All right, name that counselor. All right, who do we think? Let's find
In 1992, the U.S. Army sent me orders to go to Panama. That was my original intent. And then 1 month prior to shipping out, I got new orders to Italy. It was awesome.
And mark my words, someday the Bush family and the Clinton family will be talking about when they met Beach Pace. All right, contestants, you're probably wondering, what are the prizes? And I guess we're going to do this one first. So our next counselor once removed a car door using the jaws of life during a Hillsborough Fire Department exercise. He's a pescatarian, which means he eats a vegetarian diet as well as fish. And he went undefeated on the high school wrestling team as a senior, despite being outweighed by more than 30 pounds in each of his matches. Who do you think that was? I think we have some unanimity. Let's find out.
It's true. My high school career in Portland as a senior, I wrestled 3 weight classes ahead and I was undefeated. My nickname was the Hammer.
Which is a fact his children just found out right now. You nailed it, Hammer. All right, we are running out of counselors. And now I'm going to tell you what you win, okay? As high schoolers, you know there is nothing more important and no bigger prize than knowledge. That's what you're getting tonight. Now you see why they did their introduction to me before the game. All right, so we have a couple of counselors left. This next one sold the Hillsborough Argus on 3rd and Main, and probably sold the very first edition of the Hillsborough Argus. He drilled wells in Hillsborough for $1 a foot and had a Morris Minor wagon as a first car. Who do you think it was? All right, I think everybody has Fred knocked all except 1 or 2. All right, let's find out.
I had a 1959 Morris Minor wagon as my first car, and I blew it up at the corner of 5th and Lincoln and sold it to Hillsborough Auto Wrecking for $15.
So for those of you up here and out here who don't know what a Morris Minor wagon looks like, here's probably what we think Fred's looked like. Which makes me think he probably had to pay Hillsborough Towing $15 to get rid of it. Now, 6 down, 1 to go. The last one's kind of obvious. So let's figure out who was a cheerleader in college, a school custodian, and worked on a worm farm. Yeah, it's kind of like there's only one left. Let's confirm it.
The great thing about working at a worm farm is I made $10 a day and all I could eat.
Yeah. Thank you to our contestants. And as our yak return to their seats, I'd like to invite the council to come join me as we continue on with our city council priorities. Each of us that is here, each of us serve because we care about Hillsborough. And so each of us are going to share about one of the priorities that we have for this year. And we'll begin with Councilor Olivia Alcaire, because workforce development is not just a council priority that you know firsthand, but it's one you live and work every single day for our people and our community. Councilor Alcaire.
Thank you, Mayor. Bienvenidos y buenas noches. Education and training are keys to our success and have the power to transform people's lives. Working with our partners at the Hillsborough School District, Hillsborough Chamber of Commerce, and its Latino Business Support Group, Portland Community College, and Centro Cultural, we are expanding workforce training opportunities and career development support for our residents. These added job skills and career guidance lead to greater stability for our residents and our community. For example, we continued our partnership with Centro Cultural on the Centro de Prosperidad Economic Empowerment Center, which assisted more than 20 new businesses starting in Hillsborough. In addition, the city established an advanced manufacturing work group this year to bring industry employees together and help align local work training programs and employer talent needs. The Hillsborough School District Bond is investing $14 million to advance, enhance, and expand career technical education at our schools. I forgot my glasses, sorry. Students will benefit from career programs such as sustainable agriculture and design, biomedical technologies, construction technologies, and training for technology jobs. Finally, the city hosted more than 40 paid internships and 3 full-time fellowships this year. And we continue to support the PCC Future Connect program with funding for scholarships and internships. And before I finish my last point, so expanding workforce training opportunities that benefit all residents. Partnerships are very important, and education and training help people rise up. And that's what we are doing, and thank you for all of your support. Finally, we're proud of these young people here tonight, our Youth Advisory Council members, who give of their time and energy to make our community better. It's inspirational. Thank you. And Rick?
Thank you, Olivia. When we think of Hillsborough Airport, we think of the air show and the airfare, but it's also a driving economic force, or a flying economic force, if you will. Hillsborough is home to the second busiest airport in the state. Air ambulance services, corporate shuttles, TV news helicopters, flight schools, aircraft repair operations. Even the U.S. Customs reside at the airport. Hillsborough residents rely on it too. The airport has more than 25 businesses, providing jobs for more than 1,400 people. Supporting the airport's continued success is a council priority. It's why the city has participated in the Airport Master Plan Update Committee through the Port of Portland. It will ensure the airport's long-term viability by dedicating more land on the north side of the development, which will support North Hillsborough's growing industrial base. This year, the city worked with the port, UPS, and the Chamber of Commerce to begin daily cargo service from Hillsborough to PDX. The service enables companies like Acumen, Genentech, and Qorvo to send critical products overnight to 2/3 of the U.S. population. The city doesn't own or manage the airport, but it's really important that we have a seat at the table to represent our city and the community in planning for the future. Beach?
Thanks, Rick. I wasn't on the council in 2018, so they're not letting me speak tonight. So, I wasn't on the council in 2018 to help set these priorities, but I was part of the city's efforts to support entrepreneurs as a graduate of the 2017 Civic Leadership Academy. Our academy team provided recommendations for how our community could support entrepreneurs and help grow new business. Based on those recommendations, the city moved forward in 2018 by partnering with the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network to hire Laura Kubishak as a venture catalyst. Laura is helping our residents turn their ideas into a business plan and identify funding sources. So you can have a plan, but you still need the money, and Laura's helping with that. And Laura has brought back the Pub Talk series that connects entrepreneurs for social networking. The city's partnership with the Hillsborough Chamber of Commerce also provides small businesses and entrepreneur support to Hillsborough residents and startups, including the establishment of Hill Hub, a co-working and entrepreneurial center. The city continued its partnership with Adelante Mujeres to provide training for local food entrepreneurs in the 10-week Cocinemos program. Let's thank the 2018 Cocinemos program graduates for providing the delicious food during tonight's reception. Our support for entrepreneurs and small businesses in Hillsborough is enhanced by our support for large businesses. In many cases, they become customers for suppliers. When our partners at Intel express their interest in expanding their work here in Hillsborough, we all benefit. And we all look forward to their formal announcement later this year. We are also excited that our partners at Genentech have plans to continue to expand their Hillsborough operations and add more jobs. This year, the city created the North Hillsborough Area Plan District, which is the common acronym known as NIBT. I'm just kidding, that's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous acronym, okay. Our economic development team helped secure 14 business expansion and relocation projects. They visited or assisted 67 companies, which is remarkable. Working with partners like Greater Portland Incorporated to support our local economy and to strengthen our business ecosystem is important for our entrepreneurs and for all of our families who benefit from the resulting jobs and services. Anthony?
Thank you, Beach. Speaking of ecosystems, business ecosystems to natural ecosystems, spending time in nature is part of who we are as Oregonians, and Hillsborough is no exception. It is essential for our well-being and our connection to the natural world. Part of the 2035 Community Plan calls for expanding recreational facilities and opportunities. It's a pleasure to share that in the next few months, Council will consider a finalized Crescent Park Greenway concept plan that our Parks and Recreation Commission approved earlier last year. Thank you to them. This plan will be a guide for developing unique amenities like trailheads, public art, lookouts, gathering spaces, and educational portals. The iconic project will feature an 18-mile greenway system of trails around the periphery of the city. It will connect Gordon Faber Recreation Complex, Jackson Bottom Wetlands Reserves, and many places in between. North Hillsborough's industrial area and South Hillsborough's residential area will be the first greenway spaces constructed, with South Hillsborough already having a little bit done. Since 2005, this plan has benefited from considerable public input, including open houses, meetings, and a project advisory committee. We expect to see approximately 5 miles of the 18 miles completed in the next 5 years, so that's big. And our community's strong desire to preserve nature and enhance our quality of life is evident in the more than 20,000 native trees planted in Hillsborough in 2018, many of which are part of the Oak Island Marsh Restoration Project at the Jackson Bottom Wetlands Preserve. We thank our partners at Friends of Trees, who hosted 2 volunteer planting events at Jackson Bottom Wetlands. The 2035 community plan called for establishing a community forestry management program. And this year, we moved forward on a council priority when city staff submitted an application for Hillsborough to be recognized as a Tree City USA community. But becoming a Tree City USA community is not just symbolic. We commit to investing in urban forestry and expand our Arbor Day celebration. We also need to educate the community about tree care requirements that come with being a Tree City USA community that Council recently adopted. The reward for all of this benefits everyone. Improved stormwater management, energy savings, increased property values, cleaner air, more beautiful surroundings, and a better connection to the environment. Kyle?
Thank you, Anthony. This year, our council prioritized the creation of partnerships for more market rate and affordable housing. As we move forward with an affordable housing policy action plan, we recognize that while cities don't typically operate housing, in Hillsborough, we can make a meaningful impact in that role. This will add to the already 2,000 existing affordable housing units in our city, which, by the way, is the second most in the metro area. We provided $300,000 in critical gap financing to our partners at the Washington County Housing Authority to construct the 120-unit Willow Creek Crossing Apartments on 185th, a project, by the way, which will open in the year 2020. And we continue our support for the Community Housing Fund, as we have since 2006. Our staff is currently evaluating city-owned property development potential, including exploring a project with Habitat for Humanity. And Council is considering a proposal for a property tax exemption for nonprofit-owned affordable housing. All this, meanwhile, our partners at Reach Community Development and CEO Dan Valaire opened the 3rd phase of Orchards at Arenco. This year, adding another 52 affordable housing apartments at the Arenco Max Station. And with that, 19 of those were 3-bedroom apartment units that are ideal for families, which are sorely lacking in the metro area. And they continue to be a great partner. Since 2015, Orchards at Arenco has created 167 affordable housing units in the city of Hillsborough. Citywide, 350 affordable housing units have either been completed or begun construction in recent years. Across the region and in Hillsborough, voters approved Metro's affordable housing bond, which will result in an additional $42 million. That's $42 million coming to the city of Hillsborough, adding several hundred more units in the next 7 years. And we credit our partners at Vienna Star for securing more than $4 million in state funds and tax credits to rehabilitate the Montebello apartments, securing the 200 already existing homes in the city of Hillsborough for Hillsborough residents. We're using community development block grant funding to help our partners from Proud Ground provide affordable homeownership opportunities and down payment assistance, and to fund critical home repairs for low-income homeowners in the city of Hillsborough. Our affordable housing strategy is assisted by adding market rate housing in neighborhoods such as Amberglen and South Hillsborough. Adding to our housing supply reduces pressure for pricing for everyone and allows our local employees an easy commute to work. And as home construction continues in Rosedale Park, Butternut Creek, Reed's Crossing areas of South Hillsborough, 2 neighborhood parks are set to open later this year. Mayor?
Thank you, Councilor Hammer. And thank you, councilors, all of you, for your service to our community. Please, another round of applause for them as they return to their seats. Thank you. Now, one of the things that is special about this gathering tonight, this celebration, from my perspective, and you can't necessarily see it from where you are, but both sides of the aisle are clapping. Adding housing is a top city priority, as we mentioned, as is the challenge of resolving homelessness. And as a city and a city council, we have been working to become better educated about the complexities of homelessness for those who have experienced it and all who are impacted by it. We're working with it with our partners from Washington County, Home Plate Youth Services, Community Action, and the shelter at Orenco Station at Sunrise Church, which is Washington County's only 90-day cold weather shelter. Recently, a homelessness task force brought the city, the county, the chamber, business owners, and employees together to talk about homelessness and community-based solutions. As a community, we are addressing this issue with compassion. In 2018, our police department hired a homeless liaison officer to work full-time to help develop connections with our community members who are unhoused and to help them locate available services so they didn't have to do that by themselves. The city partnered with Home Plate Youth Services for a dedicated outreach worker to connect with Hillsborough youth in homelessness. And the city also launched a jobs placement development program with Home Plate for youth experiencing housing instability. And that first young adult is working in our city manager's office now. For the first time, the city of Hillsborough led the point-in-time count of community members experiencing homelessness in Hillsborough. That was in partnership with our friends at Community Action. Now, one of the most special things we do, and something that warms my heart, is Camp Eagle, and we're preparing to host that for our 4th summer. EAGLE stands for Empowerment, Adventure, Growth, Leadership, and Experience. And the camp is for children ages 7 to 12 who have or are currently experiencing housing instability. 17 children took part in this 3-day camp in 2018. As we look to our priority for sustainability, the city continues to lead, and our community partners are right there with us in saving energy and using renewable energy. Did you know that our city facilities are using 26% less energy than in 2009? That's the greatest improvement among all public agencies in the nation, according to the Department of Energy. And making that even more remarkable is we have added several new facilities during that time. But we're aiming higher still. We're planning to reduce our energy usage by another 20% by 2025. Our city's vehicle fleet has reduced the greenhouse gas emissions by nearly a third, and our facilities are using 16% less water now than in 2012. But it's not just city facilities and vehicles making a difference. We have so many partners to credit in our community's sustainability success. The Hillsborough School District ranks among the top 10 energy-saving school districts in the United States. Good job. And I want to thank again CEO Maria Pope and her team at Portland General Electric. PGE is working with us to create a 6-charger electric vehicle charging station called Electric Avenue that will open in the spring of 2019 at the Sunset Esplanade Shopping Center. Together, we're working to expand access to high-voltage fast chargers near multifamily housing, where installing a charger for home use is not often possible or affordable. And PGE selected South Hillsborough for their new Smart City Test Grid. It's a way of optimizing energy supply and demand. Our partners at Intel continue to do tremendous work, and they continue to be a major reason why Hillsborough was ranked once again as America's #1 green power community. That is worth... Because it's not just per capita. It is the volume, the amount of green power used. So in a city-to-city comparison, we surpassed New York City, LA, every city in the United States. Now, we hope you will join our efforts by becoming a green power household as well. You can find information on that on our city website or the PGE website. And that's what you call an electric plug. So our Public Works Department, The longer you've grown, the longer you're going to stay here. So our Public Works Department is completing the LED street lighting conversion process. Wireless advanced lighting control technology will significantly reduce the city's energy consumption, establish a more dark sky-friendly environment, and save money. Finally, I want to say thanks to our Youth Advisory Council, who championed the city's first led youth policy to restrict single-use plastic bags at stores and restaurants in Hillsborough. Again, their work was so remarkable that we had the Grocery Association, the grocery lobby industry supporting their efforts and supporting our ordinance. So thank you to our youth. You all have made our city and our world a better place. And so inside the reusable bag that you found on your seat, you can read about their work in the City View newsletters. And it's also a reminder that we just don't have time to talk about everything that the city did in 2018. And to illustrate that, let's listen to Ashley Wheeler, lead singer for our All City of Hillsborough employee band, Public Records Request.
Check a new HQ for Burst Tech, many other projects from the school district fund. Kids' books are fine, free STEM programs at libraries, body-worn cameras on our police officers. Event center breaks ground, Barley's everywhere in town, Kaboom playground built by a slew of volunteers. Winter Village on the ice, restaurants serve it up with spice, nature walks at Noble Woods, bring your family. We didn't go 5 hours, if we did it right, it would take all night. We didn't go 5 hours, there is more to say, but then you'd run away. Pay the life with Pulse Point, taxes on hotels and joints, double the funding for service grants. School resource officers, shoot park, art ideas, money magazines, best places to live. K-9s take the lead, always a good time to read, growing all the high-tech jobs and the street of dreams. Camp Eagle address changes and the wood stove exchanges, Top Golf, K1 speed, helping our interns succeed. We didn't go 5 hours, better take our word, so much you haven't heard. We didn't go 5 hours, if we squeeze it in, you wouldn't come back again.
So our last priority is we look out 50 years into the future, and we plan for that. Now, my grandmother lived to be 107, and I don't expect to outlive her, but if I live 50 more years, I would be 111. So when we talk about our final priority tonight, we're planning ahead for our future, but we're positioning the city for the future 50 years from now for you and all of the kids. And to sober you up a little bit, 50 years from now, you'll be older than me. So we're planning for your future and your kids' futures as well. 50 years from now, one of my grandsons will be 53, and my other grandson will be 50 years and 5 days old. Dalen was born this last Thursday, which means he has been breathing longer than the government has been open. So that might be my last one. All right. Now, I think of all of you when I envision the upcoming groundbreaking for the Community Center at 53rd Avenue this year, or the opening of 2 parks in South Hillsborough. I think of all of our kids and so many of the initiatives moving forward right now. We've committed to provide affordable, high-speed internet access to the entire community because we believe that this is an essential service and it has to be accessible for all students, families, businesses, and nonprofits. And we're working with our remarkable school district to connect every school to a shared fiber network in time for the 2019-20 school year. So thank you again to our Hillsborough School District Board, Superintendent Mike Scott, and all of our HSD employees who have made this incredible partnership possible. City-provided internet service to homes will begin later this year with the city's newest development, South Hillsborough, and with the Chute Park neighborhood, an area with the greatest need for affordable internet access. We're working with our partners at the Tualatin Valley Water District and making great progress on the Willamette Water Supply Project to ensure our long-term water supply, and we remain on target for water to flow by 2026. A special thank you to Oregon's congressional delegation and Senator Merkley's office in particular, because we received amazing news earlier this year from the EPA that we have been selected for $626 million in federal low-interest financing on this project. For Hillsborough and Tualatin Valley Water District, this will save ratepayers an estimated $383 million in repayment costs over the life of those bonds. So as this happens, Hillsborough water customers will still have the third lowest water rates in the metro area. And to keep rates as low as possible, we're completing a comprehensive rate study, water rate affordable study to assess the ways that we can assist customers. We're working with our partners to plan ahead for our community's 50-year land supply needs, including industrial land for job growth. This will ensure Hillsborough has the ability to grow and remain vibrant and economically stable for generations to come. This effort includes the ongoing build-out and redevelopment of neighborhood centers in Amber Glen, Tanasbourne, downtown Hillsborough, and South Hillsborough. And at the same time, we're working closely with our partners at Washington County and in the region and at the state to implement recommendations from the Transportation Futures Study. And in March, we'll begin to collect more ideas for Hillsborough 2035 Community Plan's 5-year update. As you've heard tonight, we have amazing community partners who are working to implement the community plan, allowing for continued innovation and new aspirational goals. Many partners, many hands. And so speaking of that, as we wrap up tonight, please take out that glove that you've been holding on to tonight, because we are going to have our community picture, and we're going to recreate the logo that you see tonight.